Now we're getting into the real mathematics of finance in this chapter. So we're going to be looking a lot about interest, annuities, loans, amortization. So this is not only going to help those who want to go into the business world, but it's also going to help you on a personal level too. So we're first going to just start with simple interest. And so we take a sum of money, usually called our principal, and it's invested for a time period, T, usually measured in years, at an interest rate of R per period. The simple interest is given by this formula. So it's a very simple formula. You take the principal, the amount invested, times the rate, times the time, and that gives us how much interest was earned over that time period. So if $8,000 is invested, I'm sorry about my nails, for 2 years at an annual interest rate of 9%, how much interest will be received at the end of the 2-year period? Well, it's pretty simple. Simple interest is pretty simple. Your interest will be the principal times the rate, which would be 0.09 for 9%, times the number of years. So, 8,000, whoops, put too many zeros, 0.09 times 2 is $1,440. Now, what if 4,000 is borrowed for 39 weeks at an annual interest rate of 15%? How much interest is due? Because you could also have interest due, like a credit card or something. So this one, notice that this is annual interest rate, but we're given weeks. So we'll need to convert those to years. So the interest would be, we start with the principal, times the interest rate, times the time. But this is going to be out of years because our interest rate is in annual. It's an annual interest rate, so 39 out of 52. So 4,000, 0.15, then 39 out of 52. And you would owe $450 in interest. That's a lot. Makes you think about your credit cards a little bit. All right. So what if we want to know the future amount of that investment or the future value? So starting with, let's look at that $8,000 that was borrowed. And in 2 years, it made $1,440 in interest for a total of $9,440. Similarly, that loan started off at $4,000, then we had to add in the interest, and then we now owe $4,450. So, for the future value of an investment or a loan, and we're going to call it S, we're going to take the principal, what we started with, plus the interest earned. So, if $2,000 is borrowed for 1/2 year at a simple interest rate of 12% per year, what is the future value of the loan at the end of half a year? So, we're going to start with our $2,000 principal plus our interest. So it'd be that 2,000 times the interest rate times the number of years. And so it said a half a year, so that'd be 1/2. So 2,000 plus 2,000, parentheses 0.12, times, and I'll do 0.5 for half, means that the future value of that loan is $2,120. An investor wants to have $20,000 in 9 months. Well, so it's asking it a little bit different. If the best available interest rate is 6.05% per year, how much would be invested now to yield the desired amount? Oh, so this is a little different, huh? So we're trying to get to 20,000. We want our future value to be 20,000. And we don't know what we're starting with. We know the interest rate is 6.05%, so that'd be 0.0605. And the time is 9 months. So that's really 9 out of 12 or 3/4. Let's do 9 out of 12. So let's see. Let's go ahead and multiply those together. So 0.0605 times 9 out of 12. And that gives me 0.045375. And I'm going to go the whole decimal places. Now, just to remind us something from algebra is that we have a p here and a p here. We can kind of factor it out. This is like having 1p, 1 times p. If I factor that out, and I'm sorry I didn't leave enough room to really write this good, I'm going to have p parentheses 1 plus 0.045375. In other words, this will be 1.045375 times the principal equals 20,000. And so I divide 20,000 by 1.045375, and I got $19,131.89. Mary Spalding bought WinGen Electric stock for $6,125. After 6 months, the value of her shares had risen by $138, and dividends totaling $144.14 had been paid. We want to find the return on her investment. So let's think about this return on investment, how it would work. Return on investment would be equal to the gains we've had divided by the cost of the investment. So what all has she gained? Well, she's gained the value of her stocks of $138 plus some dividends divided by how much she paid, which was $6,125. This is called the return on investment. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in a fraction. 138 plus 144.14 divided by 6125. And I get a decimal, which is going to be a decimal because what you paid should be more than what you gained usually. And that's going to be a percent. So that would be 4.6% return on investment. Find the simple interest rate she earned on this investment if she sold the stock at the end of the 6 months. So let's think about that. The interest that she earned would be her gain, which would be these two together. So let's go ahead and do that. That's 138 plus 144.14. That's what she gained. and that would equal her initial investment times the rate times the time. Well, she only had this for 6 months, so that would be 6 out of 12, or 1/2, or 0.5. And we're solving for R. And now just some little calculator tricks you can use. I can up arrow to that's highlighted, press enter, divided by, up arrow to it's highlighted, enter, and it copies and pastes, so it makes it a little bit easier. That would be 9.2%. That's a pretty good interest rate. Duration of an investment. If $1,000 is invested at 5.8 simple interest, how long will it take to grow to $11,000? So could we solve for the time? Well, we'll have to think about this one. What would be the amount earned, or the interest rate? Well, it's up to $1,100, so that means we earned $100 off of $1,000 at 0.058 times time. So that ends up being 100 equals, that'd be 58t, and then we take 100 divided by 58. So our time would be 1.72 years.